And it was a lot of money. And I'm going to give you 5 of a whole lot of money. Wow. And I want you to invest this money and work this money and use this money. When I come back, I want you to be able to give me my 5 talents I gave you and all the money you earned as a result. What a responsibility. What a trust. And the second one, he said, I'm going to give you 3 talents. And I'll come back, you give me my 3 talents back, plus what you've earned. And the last one, he gave 1 talent. But a talent is a lot of money. So he gave to all 3 of these different levels of trust, and then he left. It was sort of like Jesus leaving, you know, and going to heaven. And now at a certain time, you won't know when, I'm coming back. And when I come back, now you will have to give an account for how you used the money and what you did for me. Well, he came back. When he did, he called the first guy in, and the first servant came back in and said, here is your 5 talents you gave me, and I made 5 more, 100% that I've made for you. Well, the king said, you are a faithful servant. I am so appreciative. The second guy comes in. He's only been given 3 talents, but he comes in and he gives the king the 3 talents he got and 3 more. He had doubled it too. And the king said, you are an amazing servant, faithful servant, well done. Now, it's interesting to me that the king said the same words to both the guy that made 5 and the guy that made 3. He didn't say to the guy that made 3, the other guy made 5. What's wrong with you? No, he didn't do that. And you know what? It gives me a sense of hope. There's a whole lot of pastors that are a whole lot more talented than Mark Hartman. But one day when I get to heaven, I'm not going to be accountable for what they did, how great they were. I'm going to be accountable for how God wired me, with the opportunities and the talents and abilities he gave to me. And the same thing with you. You're not going to be judged in accordance to some other person, but what God gave you. What did God give you? What was the trust he gave to you? Well, the third guy came in and he said, here's the 1 talent you gave me, but I don't have any more because I hid it. I was afraid I'd lose it, so I knew one thing, I didn't want to lose it, so I hid it. Now I'm digging it back up and giving it to you. And the king said to him, you are a wicked servant. See, if he'd have just made 1 more or just whatever he made. But no, he took the talent that he had and he hid it, and I'm not going to use it for the king. And the king calls him wicked. And Jesus is simply saying, one day, every single one of us will stand before God, all of us, and we will give an account of not somebody else, but ourselves. And the trust that God gave to us. And how did we use it? The talents and abilities, the resources, the opportunities. How did we use it for God? We are to use our abilities to help others. This is what the Bible is saying to us. I've mentioned this to you before, but I'm enamored with this. The study that was done and discovered that every human being has between 70 to 100 talents. And some of you are saying to yourself, when I use the word talent, I mean it the way we in English use it, talents and abilities. And some of you are thinking, okay, maybe I have 3. I don't have 70. No, you got 70. You got so many talents you know nothing about. You've got talents that you're not even counting as talents because you don't understand that they are, but you are talented. You are an amazingly talented human being. Yes, you. And we have all of us between 70 to 100 talents. You know what I discovered? That every day we live, we learn more. This is the fun thing about living. You learn more and more about how God wired you, what God did for you, how God blessed you. It is amazing. How talented, amazingly talented that you are, and how God has wired you. And all your life, you're learning more and more about who you are. God has given you talents. Now, on top of that, one more thing real quick, and that is when you accept Christ as Savior, you are given spiritual gifts on top of all the other things.